The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing here from Watkins Glen for race number 22, the 2016 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season, as we are here live getting ready for the Cheez-It 355, a 13-lap race here on our final road course race of the Cup Series season. I'm Ed Burton here in the broadcast booth, hitting with full coverage of today's broadcast from Watkins Glen. And on the front row, the number 47 of AJ Allmendinger and the 14 of Tony Stewart. Entering this weekend, we have 5 races remaining until we will hit the playoffs for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series chase. And there's a lot of drivers lined up on the front straight away, anxious to get going so they can try to get a win and punch their ticket into the chase for the 2016 season. AJ Allmendinger comes in here as a former winner here at Watkins Glen, won here 2 years ago, his first career win, and now he enters this weekend as pretty much knowing that he will most likely be running for a title, as he got that big, huge win at Daytona in July. To his outside, Tony Stewart is the complete opposite. He does not have a win in 2016, and he is not high enough in points to make the chase on points. As the engines are now getting fired up, on road number 2 you have the 24, Chase Elliott. Now he can make the chase on points, but he does not have a win in 2016. And he's about a good maybe 25 points behind Kyle Busch in the 18. That is on the chase grid. The pace car is now leading the field down into turn number 1. This track 11 turns. About to go through the S's. On road 2, we have Chase Elliott alongside the 41 of Kurt Busch, who picked up his 3rd win of the year last weekend at Iowa, becoming the first driver in history to win the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race from Iowa Speedway. On road 3, Kevin Harvick, a former Watkins Glen winner, won here back in 2006, 10 years ago, alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Road 4, Brad Keselowski and Paul Menard. Brian Scott still looking for his first top 10 in his rookie year, alongside the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., looking for a win to make the chase in 2016. And we'll be right back with the race. And we'll be right back with the start of the race. We are back live here at Watkins Glen, getting ready to go racing here. Tony Stewart and AJ Allmendinger make up your front row. Allmendinger certainly a favorite to win today's race here at Watkins Glen, but then you got that 14 of Tony Stewart, a multiple-time winner here at the Glen. Chase Elliott, a guy who will love to get a win to punch his ticket into the chase. He is 17th on the chase grid alongside Kurt Busch in the 41. Let's get a few spotlights on a few of our drivers in the field today, beginning with Joey Logano in the 22. Starting back in 20th place, he won the Xfinity and Sprint Cup race here 1 year ago, and then he was able to go back-to-back Xfinity wins just yesterday afternoon. He'll have a long way to go to get another Cup winner, so he'll be rolling out from 20th place on the grid. Returning to the NASCAR world is Patrick Carpentier, driving the number 32 for Go Fast Racing, the Keen Parts Ford. Patrick Carpentier out of retirement to race here today for Go Fast Racing. Making his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series debut is Cody Ware for Premium Motorsports. There's the number 98, and the 93 being driven by Ryan Ellis, making his first start of the year. Making their way out of turn number 11 down to the line. The green flag is out. We're underway here from the Glen. Side by side for the lead. Tony Stewart in the 14, AJ Allmendinger in the 47. Down in the turn number 1 to go. And Allmendinger he does not get going. There they go. Johnson's around. The 48 spins out, and his 2 teammates, Chase Elliott and Dale Jr., has pretty much the biggest disadvantage. They got held up behind that 48 who spun down in turn number 1, and Dale Jr. is still making contact with Chase Elliott. Elliott's in the grass, back up the track, making contact with his teammate Dale Jr. Paul Menard, another guy who had a big disadvantage behind Johnson. And Austin Dillon was back here. He got turned by the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. With all that mess going on, we are still on the green, and Tony Stewart is now leading his teammate Kurt Busch in the 41. AJ Allmendinger, Kevin Harvick, and Brad Keselowski are top 5. Brian Scott is 6. Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, and Ryan Blaney. That is your top 10. Followed by Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Brian Vickers, and the 22 of Joey Logano. What a big, tough rig that was for Dale Jr., a guy who's just had a tough year altogether in that 88 car. Chase Elliott had a great qualifying run. And we have one car on pit lane. Is that Tony Stewart? That is Tony Stewart, I believe. Yes, it is. Tony Stewart on pit road. Leading the field now on pit lane. Trouble for the 14 of Tony Stewart. He led the first lap, or did he? No, he didn't. I didn't even lead the lap, as Kurt Busch will be credited with leading that lap, but trouble for Tony Stewart. And now his teammate will surrender the lead. That's the 41 of Kurt Busch. A driver who went to victory lane just last weekend at Iowa, now leading the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger. Then it's Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, and Brian Scott, your top 5. Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, Ryan Blaney, and now move Eric Almirola into the top 10 with Edwards, Kyle Busch, Vickers, Logano, and Casey Mears. Let's see, Dale Jr. last time by, Dale Jr. was running back in 28th place. Elliott is 29th. Johnson is 30th in that 48 car. And I believe we had some problems. Yes, we do. Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers. And Busch gets run into with a 24 Chase Elliott. And problems with a 55 of David Reagan. David Reagan, I believe he got turned around. So did Kyle Busch in the 18. Brian Vickers in the 15. Kyle Busch is one of those guys trying to make the choice on points in that number 18 car. Now trying to get back around that 15 of Brian Vickers. Every point counts for that number 18 team. And they will have about 10 laps to go, or this time by, to get as much points back as they can. But right now, it's still Kurt Busch leading A.J. Allmendinger. And what a great run with that 29 Brian Scott inside the top 5 Rookie of the Year contender out of Richard Childress Racing. Has not had a great year at all. 30th in points for that number 29 team. Has really struggled throughout the entire year. Right now inside the top 5 for Brian Scott. Now there's something we want to talk about with Brian Vickers and David Reagan, the drivers out of Michael Waltrip Racing. It was announced this week that Michael Waltrip Racing will suspend their operations after the 2016 season. That leaves Brian Vickers and David Reagan riderless for 2017, but there's been rumors that could Brian Vickers end up at Stewart-Haas Racing in 2017? Could David Reagan be replacing somebody at Richard Petty Motorsports? What about H. Scott Motorsports? That's also been a rumor of where Vickers or David Reagan can go to, as Kyle Busch goes in the grass in the bus stop. And now here comes Vickers back on the outside. This is 32nd and 33rd place battle right now on track, trying to get around the 32 of Carpentier and the 7 of Alex Bowman. But some big news from Michael Waltrip Racing as their other car, David Reagan, right now running 42nd. And what a tough break for this guy. The 14, Tony Stewart, a flat tire, has to come down pit lane. And that is just awful for the 14 of Tony Stewart, as his bad season will also continue. And should Kurt Busch go to victory lane here at Watkins Glen, he will certainly be have the highest chase seed, entering the chase with 4 wins should he win today. But A.J. Allmendinger trying to close in on that 47 car. Yes, Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski not letting that 47 get away. Kurt Busch had about a half a second lead last time by on the 47 of Allmendinger. Now Harvick and Kurt Busch, they're teammates. You would think Harvick would try to put as much pressure on that 47 car as possible, as Harvick looks to the outside in turn number 10, but he won't have the preferred lane. Willie, a great run the turn number 10 by Kevin Harvick. He's now alongside A.J. Allmendinger. But can he clear him off turn number 11? They're side by side and move the 4 of Kevin Harvick into second. And now here comes that 2 of Brad Keselowski trying to get third away from that 47 of Allmendinger. 2 former teammates at Team Penske, Allmendinger and Keselowski. Right here, Ryan Newman, Casey Kane battling for that 6th spot. Great run right now by Ryan Newman. Matt Kenseth, Ryan Blaney, and now Carl Edwards inside the top 10 as Almirola and Logano battle for 11th place. And we are pretty much single file throughout almost the entire field. And we talk about Kyle Busch, who's trying to make the chase on points. How about Martin Truex Jr. right now running 39th, trying to get around that number 93 Ryan Ellis. Well, no, now Truex is now 30th, trying to get 37th away from Ryan Ellis as he's just got around Austin Dillon. And there's Brett Moffitt, Cody Ware in the 98 making his debut. Got Matty Benedetto, Michael Annett, David Reagan. Kurt Busch won here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series back in 2011, driving for Team Penske, but he has never won here in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, I don't believe. And now he has a hungry Kevin Harvick trying to chase him down. The two drivers with the most wins in 2016. Currently leading here at Watkins Glen, Allmendinger, Keselowski, Brian Scott. Now Casey Kane's got around Ryan Newman for 6th. Newman drops to 7th. Kenseth Blaney and Edwards your top 10. Logano 11th, Almirola, Mears, McMurray, and Kyle Larson. Now your top 15, Biffle, Stenhouse, Boyer, David Gillen. Nice run by David Gillen right now, running up inside the top 20, battling Denny Hamlin. He was pretty wide down into the bus stop, into the grass for Denny Hamlin. That will kill his momentum entering the carousel for Denny Hamlin. You can see Gillen drives away from the 11 car. Now there's Trevor Bayne and Justin Allgaier trying to chase 11 down off the carousel. Entering turn number 10. Now we saw that Allmendinger really could not catch the 41 of Kurt Busch. And then we saw the 4 Kevin Harvick get by. And last time by, Harvick not really closing in. Kurt Busch was faster last time by in that 41 car. We have not seen a driver this in 2016 go back-to-back wins in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in 2016, but Kurt Busch trying to become the first driver to change that, as entering the bus stop he'll have 5 to go next time by at the line for the number 41 car of Kurt Busch. We had a spin on lap number 1 involving the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, the 88 of Dale Jr. Let's see where they have ended up right now. They have gotten inside the top 30. Johnson up to 28th, Elliott up to 27th, and Dale Jr. has moved up to 24th. Scratch that now 23rd for Dale Jr. He's just gotten around the 9 of Elliott Sadler. 11, Denny Hamlin. We saw him go in the grass not long ago. Now he's caught the 23 yet again, David Gilliland. Let's see if he can get around him entering turn number 1 as he's right on the bumper, that number 23 coming off the final corner. Down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Here comes the move by Denny Hamlin on the inside. This is for 19th place. Gilliland has a pretty good launch off turn 1, but Hamlin stays tough on the inside. He'll have the preferred lane entering the S's, or will he? He doesn't really have a lane because Gilliland clears the number 11 of Hamlin. Kevin Harvick has now gotten away from Allmendinger, and last time by, Kurt Busch was faster than Harvick, but Harvick appears he may be starting to close in just a little bit. Brian Scott runs out your top 5, but one of the fastest cars on the track is no doubt the number 5 of Casey Kane. He's now up in 6th spot in the 5 car. We saw him get away from Ryan Newman. And Newman's kind of, does 31 have a problem? So he was kind of weaving a little bit. I don't know what that was about, but I thought Ryan Newman was kind of off pace because we saw his car like kind of going sideways, but it appears to be alright. 4 to go for the 41 of Kurt Busch. Last time by, Harvick was quicker than the 41, but I don't think that'll be quick enough, really. Last time by, it is a half a second between the 41 of Kurt Busch, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, a 6-car breakaway. And any of these guys, should the 41 and the 4 starting a battle, the 47 in the 2 car, that 29 of Brian Scott, the 5 of Casey Kane, or could they be in the conspiracy for a top 3 finish? Kane working on that 29 of Brian Scott. Casey Kane really the only Hendrick car who's running inside the top 20 after his 3 teammates all had problems in lap number 1 and turn number 1. It's been a pretty calm, chill day for Casey Kane as Keselowski's starting to get a little bit antsy behind the 47 of Allmendinger. Harvick not really chasing the 41 down. It'll be 3 laps remaining now. This time by for Kurt Busch. Tony Stewart still runs in last place. And you have David Reagan, Michael Annett, Matty Benedetto, Ryan Ellis, Austin Dillon, Cody Ware. Not a good day for Austin Dillon, a driver who got that big win at Talladega earlier in the year. Pretty much will most likely be running for a title in September, but not a good day for Austin Dillon. That's Truex now gets around Landon Castle, and Castle goes around in turn number 1 and takes out Truex in the process. And all those positions Spartan Truex gained, he just lost them all back now after contact with Landon Castle entering turn number 1. Ryan Ellis in the wall, the 93. Making his second career NASCAR Sprint Cup Series start, his first start of the year for BK Racing. And Harvick has caught the 41 of Kurt Busch. It's no longer a half a second. The 4 is right there on the 41. Can he make a pass? Now remember, in yesterday's race, it was Ty Dillon and Joey Logano. And on the final lap, Logano got by Dillon on the straightaway right before the bus stop. Now, could we see Harvick do the same thing to his teammate Kurt Busch? Yes, certainly close to the gap on that 41. A great run by AJ Allmendinger. Down outside the top 20 in points, but a great top 3 run today would be huge for that team to really give them some momentum as we head towards the chase. Brad Keselowski, the 2 car. Brian Scott in the 29. A great run by this is certainly a career day for Brian Scott here on the road course at Watkins Glen. I don't believe a lot of guys would have thought of it, but it's certainly happening as Harvick closing the gap yet again through the carousel. See, Harvick was able to stay a little bit further on the inside, and Kurt Busch wasn't able to. It appears the 41's handlings might be going away, and was Harvick just hanging back, just cooling down his tires? It's the Stewart-Haas Racing teammates. Out of turn number 11. Down the line. White flag is in the air. Here comes Kevin Harvick on the bumper. The 41 of Kurt Busch. Down in the turn number 1 they go. Harvick is right there on Kurt Busch. One little mistake by that 41 and Harvick is right there to pounce. Deja vu as we had a last lap pass in yesterday's race. Cool. We could very well see it again today. Through the yeses. Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick nose to tail, entering the bus stop one more time at Watkins Glen. Busch is hanging in there, but Harvick's still not going away. In the one wheel hops, they skip it together, going through the carousel. Busch leaves the inside lane open. Here comes Harvick trying to get a little run off the carousel. Harvick's been really good off the carousel, entering the final 2 corners. Here he comes looking on the outside lane. Busch goes up the block. Into the final corner. Can Harvick make a run? Into the final corner. Down the front straightaway for the 4th time in the year. Kurt Busch is going to go to victory lane. Back-to-back wins for Kurt Busch in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. His 4th win of the year. Great finish between the 2 Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet teammates, Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick. And Harvick will come out of here with a big point lead on the 11 and the 22 in the championship. Remember, the point leader right before the chase will have an automatic pass through round number 1. And with Harvick finishing 2nd and Hamlin 19th, that is very good news for the 4-car Kevin Harvick. I want to run by Brian Scott top 5 for the 29. Casey Kane, Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, and Ryan Blaney are top 10. And Tony Stewart looked like he had a lot of high hopes entering his final race at the Glen. Flat tire in lap number 1. Has to come down pit lane. He will finish 43rd today at the Glen. Next weekend, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series will be off. But the following weekend, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series will be live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway for Labor Day weekend. Wait, just kidding, that's not Labor Day weekend. I don't even know what... not Labor Day weekend, but thinking of Darlington, but we'll be back at Atlanta for race number 23 of the year. Next weekend, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series are also off, but the NASCAR Xfinity Series will be on at Mid-Ohio, the next race. on this channel the NASCAR Xfinity Series here from Mid-Ohio next weekend. But until then, congrats to Kurt Busch on two straight wins in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Got that big win at Iowa and also got the win here today at the Glen. Your results in your chase grid after racing number 22 is on your screen right now, and we will see you next weekend at Mid-Ohio for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Congrats to Kurt Busch on win number 4 in 2016. Goodbye, everyone.